I got asked, yesterday, do you really think he thinks he can beat you? And I can't get up in his headspace. I can't predict what's going on inside of his head. I do know, without a shadow of a doubt, that I am the better fighter, from head to toe, skill-wise, tenacity-wise, technique-wise. So I'm ready to just go out there and yeah, it'll be nice to check those kicks. It'll be nice to just eat those kicks. Let him throw the kicks. Let him throw the kicks to no avail. Realize he's kicking the leg of a determined individual who's going to come down his throat and take what's his.
There's nothing to prove to him. He knows. Like I remember we were in the cage. He's like, Scott Coker asked him what's wrong. He's like, I think it's broken. I think it's broken. He knew that it was from that. And yeah, man. And you just don't roll your ankle and have nerve damage from the knee down. So. And I've had doctors call me and say, man, that's from impact, that nerve damage right there. So we both know, but he just went with all the media and all the fans and everything. So it is what it is, man. They say you win like a champion, you lose like a champion, but he does not know how to lose like a champion. So, man, I'm just so excited to get to fight this dude. So,
a couple weeks back, I was sitting there, and I think everybody searches for some existential reason for why they're here in life, and if there is a purpose for it, I realize I wasn't born to be Frank Mir. My accomplishments are a footnote in a book that's much larger. I was here to produce my children. They're truly the superstars, the prophets, My daughter, I will be known as the father of Isabella Mir more than I'll be known as Frank Mir before it's all said and done. Look, Javi Ayala's explosive. He has a talent to him, He really does. Does he have a lot of holes in his game? He does. Obviously, his grappling is an area that, it's no secret. I'm going to try to put him in that area and see how he responds. But that being said, Sergey Kirikanov is a much better striker than Javi Ayala. They fight each other 100 times. You can't get me to bet on Javi Ayala in that fight. They fought. Javi Ayala turned his lights off. He put him in a seizure. He landed that big fucking right hand, So that's nerve-wracking. You can't sleep on this guy. So I was like, what can I do? I'm like, I bet you if I had my daughter in the corner. And now let's see if you're gonna whoop my ass in front of my child. I've actually thought about it, and I'm like, we'll wait till after this fight, because if something bad happens, I don't want to be held accountable that I premeditated it, but you better be careful.
So I want to be a Bellator champion. I'm not here just to make money. It's not the purpose of my life. So I want something different. I want to be on the top position. That's what I want. So even though I'm 40, but look this physique, man. I'm still there, man.
What about the names? You got Musasi, you've got Vader, you've got. Are there people you want to fight?
Yeah, people have talking about other names, but my only focus now is Rafael Carvalho, tough opponent. Of course, it's a tendency. That's gonna happen for sure. I will fight a lot of fights here. I have a lot of chances in Bellator. That's why one of the reasons that I moved to Bellator.
Aqui, ó. Vamos que vamos! Vamos! Vamos que vamos! Vamos! Vamos que vamos!
The walkout's going to be, I keep saying this time and again in all my interviews that it's going to be very emotional. And it's kind of a surprise for everyone. I don't want to spoil it, but I know my family's probably going to be bawling when they see the walkout. So I'm probably going to be bawling too. So that's probably going to be the most emotional I get this whole fight week. It's going to be during the walkout. But as soon as I get in that cage, it's all business.
Do you feel like tomorrow when you get to the Blaisdell, you might feel this pressure that you haven't felt this week yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the type of fighter, the closer it gets to the fight, the more nervous I get, the more anxiety starts to build up. So yeah, I know that when I do get to the Blaisdell, then I'll finally, kind of start feeling that pressure. But I have been telling people that aside from that, I also, on the flip side, don't feel pressure as much from the community, because I know that no matter what happens on Saturday, Hawaii will still have my back no matter what. You know, they don't just fall off the wagon and desert you. They're going to be there for you, and they're ride or dies.
And the Colombian fighter officially weighing in at 125.1 pounds, 125.1. $250.4, 250.4 pounds. Would you please welcome the two-time former Bellator lightweight world champion iron, Michael Chandler. 153.9 pounds for iron, Michael Chandler. And now we welcome the undefeated, reigning and defending Bellator lightweight world champion at 8-0 overall as a professional. Would you please welcome the defending lightweight champion, Brent Primus. 154.9 pounds, 154.9 for the champion, Brent Primus.
The two top guys right now, it seems, from Bellator as far as coming up, you and your training partner, Pico. How does that work in the training room? Because you guys are going for the same goal right now.
Iron sharpens iron. He's, what, 4-1? 4-1, he'll be 5-1 after Corrales. 13-0, man. I would consider myself a vet, a pioneer at this point, you know? I have a fight IQ that it only comes with 20, 30 fights, and that's just the thing of me being in this sport for so long, and my dad coaching and being around all these great fighters my entire life. He's following right behind me, man. That fight will never happen. So when people ask, I honestly now I just end interviews when they ask it, because it makes me mad, you know. That's like me asking you to go slap your dad in the face for 100 grand. You gonna do it? No. You know, that's like my brother. You know, I literally, we set for war. When I go in that cage, I'm trying to kill the man across from me. I'm trying to hurt him and inflict bodily harm, cut his face open. So he helps prepare me for that. I help him prepare for that. So iron sharpens iron, man, and me and him are like yin and yang. I know it's the fight everybody wants to see, but it never happened.
3-0 in Bellator. What do you want next? Title shot?
3-0 no Bellator. O que você quer? Uma luta pelo título?
Sim, como eu disse, eu não lutei do jeito que eu queria, não consegui a vitória do jeito que eu quis. Mas eu tô preparado assim para a próxima ser o cinturão. Espero isso.
Yes, as I just said, you know, I didn't fight the way I wanted to, you know, but I'm ready for the belt.
That's probably like one of the best feelings, to know that, like, I have great respect for Frank, but like that I made him quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do we know exactly what happened? I mean, obviously it's him, not you, but do you know exactly what happened to him that he did tap?
When we're going through the exchange, I hit him a few times. I seen his mouthpiece come out, and then I turned him onto the. I turned him onto the cage. I threw an elbow. I started throwing light punches, and then I heard him say, "Oh, my tooth came out." And then the Beltran didn't do nothing, so I just kept hitting. I didn't want to stop and lose my position. And then all of a sudden he started tapping, and I looked at Beltran while he's tapping.
I was gonna say, it looked like you were, I don't say confused, but I mean, because he was basically tapping the back of your head, right?
Yeah,
I mean, did you know what was going on?
At first I felt him tap my shoulder, and then he started tapping my head, and that's when I knew, like, oh, he's giving up.
Was he running out of teeth then?
I don't know. I was thinking I was gonna knock him each out, but.
Thought I had him in the second round. I dropped him, and I had his back, and I had the choke in, and I should have stuck with the choke. You know, I really thought I could have finished it, but I was gonna try to switch it. I didn't want to wear my arms out, but I really think I should have stuck with the choke, and I think I could have finished in the second round. But man, really, my heart just hurts right now. It sucks losing, and I literally put my heart and soul into this, and it sucks.
Were you surprised that you were kind of outgunning him on the feet? I mean, at one point, I think basically he kind of changed his game plan and said, I've got to go strictly with wrestling.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't want any of my stand-up. You know, after the first round, I was kept on catching him, and he didn't want my stand-up, you know, and I was 100% happy to stand up with him, and I think I was going to knock him out, and he just shot in and took me down and was working on his wrestling, and I wish he would have stood up with me because I think I would have knocked him out.
And that's the funny thing too. I mean, I fully expected to get in the driver's seat, put that key in the ignition, and just go Michael Chandler and get the finish. But that's, once again, I think these things happen for me and not to me. You know, when I look at this 25-minute war against a guy who I thought I was going to come in and dispatch in the first round, it continues to build that gall. It continues to build this thick skin that I've had for that I'm continuing to develop over this long career of mine. And you know, it makes me respect him more. It makes me respect this sport more. You know, the fact that I've got some cuts and some bruises, and my knees are all jacked up, and you know, I feel like I've been in a fight. You know, it makes you respect this sport even more. So it is tough, you know, but you have to have that mindset shift, and it's hard too, because like I was saying earlier, I always want to go for the finish. So it's not as if I conceded and decided, okay, I'm gonna get this win by decision. I'm constantly looking to dominate, but there comes a point where I put my foot on the gas and I go as hard as I can. I redline it until I try to get the finish in that first and second round. And if it doesn't happen, I can kind of settle in as a veteran. And I think that's something that I brought to the Benson Henderson fight. I realized he's actually the most durable guy in the entire world. So when I realized I wasn't going to get the finish right away, I pulled the foot off the gas a little bit and kind of turned it into a fight, turned it into a technical fight. And tonight I had to do that. I had to win by any means necessary.
We introduce first the challenger from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, by way of Coconut Creek, Florida. As a professional overall, 10 victories against 6 defeats. Please welcome the challenger, Valerie Letourneau. 124.4 pounds for the challenger, 124.4 pounds. Please welcome the undefeated, the reigning and defending Bellator flyweight world champion, Ilima-Lei, the Eliminator Macfarlane. 125 pounds even for Ilima-Lei, 125. Saturday Night Live on DAZN, the second defense for the world champion, the challenger Valerie Letourneau, the champion Ilima-Lei, the Eliminator Macfarlane.
And now you're fighting for a title next.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that feel like, knowing, yes, you're in this Grand Prix, but you got a chance to be a champion as well?
I will be a champion. Yeah, it's a dream come true, and everything is aligning for me to be a champion. I will be a champion, man. I was born for this, you know. I was born and bred for this.
It's done now. So how would you describe your first Bellator fight week?
So amazing. I'm so happy to be here. No regrets at all, man. The treatment and everything, the public, the crowd. So I'm so happy to be here. Bellator for me is my new home, definitely.
Thanks, though.
Well, it started backstage. My Kahili Bears, or the men that escorted me out, they were kind of doing a pule for me backstage in Hawaiian and chanting for me while I was preparing myself, and it was incredible. The whole room just felt quiet, and the cameras were all there. So it started then. That's when I was like, you know, they're telling me like, you have. Just feel the mana, feel the haf, you know, think of your ancestors, they're all there for you. And so that's what started it. And then I calmed myself down, we walk out, and now I'm backstage behind the curtain. The lights go down,
and I just hear the crowd again, and so I started crying again. And so like every single time I calm myself down, then something else happens. So yeah, it all started from the back, and it really didn't end until the cage door closed. Really, that's when it was like, all right, no more crying. We got to get this fight over with first.
I mean, honestly, it's like, this was something that will be memorable as a fight promoter. This was a magical environment, and I think you guys saw the power of, Hawaii get behind her. And, I think that there's a couple times in my life I felt that, and I've been doing this a long time, and so it was a magical night, and, they love her here. She's going to be a big star here. Listen, when we do the walk-ins, we just say, look, you guys have the ability to express yourself and do what's important for you, and build your brand. And you could tell that her culture was important to her, and Hawaii was important to her, and it was entertaining. I loved it. I loved that the crowd knew, all the chants and everything. It was just a magical night, man. I can't explain it. You had to be here to feel it.